No.
The fuck you mean, nah?
What's up, you guys, and welcome to Sith Happens, a Star Wars podcast. I am Eric the Dadalorian, and thank you guys for joining us for another round of Talking Sith. I am joined, as usual, by my good friend, and otherwise known as I am Not a Committee on Instagram. How are you doing, man?
Hello there. Doing fantastic. As always, happy to be here. And excited to talk some Star Wars with you guys.
Yes, absolutely, man. And we are going to have a fun episode because we're also joined by a friend of mine here. He owns a really awesome printing company, armor printing company, that is. He actually makes some of the coolest armor I've ever seen. We're going to show off his Instagram here in a little bit so you guys can check it out. But you can, his name is MandoRexProps, otherwise known as John. How you doing, man?
Good. Welcome.
Yes. Thank
Good.
you.
How you
We
doing,
are
guys?
actually,
Thanks
we're
for
stoked
having
to
me.
have you, man, honestly.
Pretty
Like,
cool.
you and I have been talking the last few days. You know, you had the awesome giveaway coming up on your Instagram page, and I was like, yo, we definitely got to help this brother out, show him some love, and I am stoked to get you here, brother. So, before we get too deep into talking about like what you do for your biz with printing all the awesome helmets that you see behind you, for those of you listening, the dude's got a crap load of helmets behind him that he has custom made, and they actually look amazing. We're just gonna interview you a little bit. So, man, I just want to know, like, what got you like into Star Wars? Like, what kind of like drove that interest with you and everything?
Well, I mean, it's funny because it's Star Wars never like on the radar. It was something, growing up I had seen, and it wasn't like a big thing. Like I appreciated the movies and stuff, but I didn't get far into it. It wasn't until like I had kids is where things kind of changed. Halloweens have always been something where I would start creating costumes really early and then getting super detailed with them. And it just, every year it was like family theme, and it just got more and more and more involved. And then, funny enough, when the Mandalorian came out, I was watching that, and I just thought he was so cool. Like it had that vibe of that Western vibe. And, it kind of locked me into, I was always into spaghetti Westerns and stuff growing up, watching movies like that. And so I just was like, wow, this is cool. So as I dive into that, I'm like, I'm going to make a Mandalorian costume. And of course I didn't go like soft into it, and I didn't want to buy anything. So I started foam smithing, watching videos, and I started out by making his blaster. Actually, I still have it.
Whoa.
And I haven't printed the real one because
I was gonna say, dude, that looks like the real deal.
Looks so good, you know what I mean? But this, right.
No.
Like, and the cool thing about it is so light that's like, I'm not going to go print one. So, and this takes me back to the photos I have of just this being a piece of, solid, sheet of foam, and turning it into, that, and getting into painting. I've always painted and I like that. So, and then it escalated from there. I started looking at the armor and painting it and trying to paint Beskar, but foam and painting and learning all those techniques. It never looked like crisp and real. So I was like, man, I gotta figure out how I can get that. And I don't want to pay anyone. So I started looking at 3D printing, and I was looking at all these people and they were selling prints, and I'm like, yeah, but it might not fit me and it might not look scaled to my size, So I started looking at 3D printing, and I bought a printer, and I watched some YouTube videos and just got into it. And before long, I was making completely unscaled and improper 3D prints, and just learning on it. And I found Clone Wars through the process, and that took me on a deep dive of watching every episode and falling in love with clones and just how vast that universe is. And then I just dove in, man, and I haven't looked back. And now it's like, I'm like, I want that helmet. So I started making it for myself. And I was like, I want that. And then I had finished the the Mandalorian, and people just seeing that when I wear it out and about, like people just go nuts. And so yeah, it's just kind of grown from there. And I was kind of closet Star Wars I guess nerd, wasn't like really showing anyone what I was doing, but my whole garage and my Lego collection like grew. And next thing I know, it's like people are telling me, hey, like I'll buy a helmet. Can you make this for me? And I'm like, all right, yeah. My wife's like, look, you're spending a lot of time doing this. So I did the Alabama Comic-Con this last year. And that was kind of my, hey, everybody, this is what I do now. And it was just well received, and people really appreciated the detail that I put into things. And I was like, all right, here we go. Let's give this a shot as a business. And I'm a commission based business though. Like it's just me. I'm one artist. I don't have anyone to hand it off to. I hand sand everything, and paint it, prep it, all that stuff. So it's just commission based. Like I am a Galactic Armory Patreon, so I have access to all their files. And basically, it's like you find something that you like, you just pick it and say, hey, that's what I want. And I get measurements and stuff, and I'll just scale it all out and build whatever you want and paint it however you want. If you want it realistic, if you want it weathered, if you want it pristine, could put it on a stand. We can make it so it's a cosplay. So It's really like one-on-one, it's not kind of like this, like you're going to wait, 6-8 months. I hear these horror stories of people waiting, and you're going to wait some time for me to do it, but I promise you.
It's awesome. I mean, I think everybody can tell that just from looking at the stuff behind you there. It looks amazing, honestly. So
incredible, dude.
It's really, really impressive, man. So, what if you had to kind of like pick one of those that's your favorite out of like all the pieces you've made? What do you think would probably be your favorite?
So when I say favorites, I think of the paint job. So like how close I was to nailing it or whatnot, and I always give it. Number one, I give it to my Rex, the Ahsoka Live series, up top right there.
Looks incredible.
That thing is just so detailed. That's one of the things you got to see up close. Kind of blows you away. I think Parker Hensley, he was the artist on that show. Like he hit me up on
dude,
Instagram,
that's so
like,
cool.
hey, man,
I love that.
On that one, I was like
talking about getting the compliment.
Like, yeah, he was the one that did that. So. Dude, yeah. I mean, and then like I was telling you earlier, Eric, I was able to meet D. Bradley Baker at the Comic-Con, and he came up and was just talking to me and doing all the voices for each one of the Bad Batch down the line. And yeah, it was nuts. And he had a big head, but he didn't, even though the tech helmet's actually pretty big, he couldn't fit it. And I was going to do a helmet for him, but it just kind of fell through. We never just, he wanted one for studio. So for tech, I guess that was his favorite. He did not tell me. I was like, hey man, is he really dead? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just a voice actor. I'm like, yeah, right, man. But but yeah, so that one's my favorite. I also have a deep appreciation for Echo, just because the season 2 Echo helmet, like up close, man, I stress about my paint jobs. So like I'll sit there, if it's especially when I'm doing for a customer, but like even for myself, I'll sit there and think about how I'm going to pull off a certain part of the paint job for like weeks. Mm-hmm. And the smudge that he has across that helmet, it was just, how am I going to make that look real? And when I pulled it off, I mean, there's a lot of cussing involved and a lot of like, starting over, and then I finally, when I get it done. So that's one where I look at it and I'm just very proud of. But most people could look past it because Echo's not a super big favorite, especially. I mean, he is and he isn't. It just depends on what
I love the Bad Batch. It's
at,
definitely my favorite animated series and top of all the Star Wars series for me. And those look incredible, dude. They like Crosshair is my favorite just because he's such a dynamic character, and I just can't take my eyes off it back there.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
That one was another one
No,
that's
and
just like
I hear
gotta
you
get
with
gotta
like
get the tint
I do
right, gotta
photography with mine,
gotta get
and
that animated look.
sometimes when I'm editing, it's not the photo itself, like the raw image. I'm good there, but sometimes when I editing, I'll do that same kind of thing that you're just describing there, and I'm just like, no, it's not right. And sometimes I'll just get annoyed. I'll just delete the whole picture. I'm like, nope, we're starting over.
I've done that before. I've sent.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Or I'm pretty huge on
And I
staring
always
at the
tell
flaws,
our Matt, who's
where
not
I
here
see it
tonight,
as a
my
flaw.
brother. I'm sure I've told you, Eric, but like, it's funny that that's what the artist sees in what we do, because, I guarantee you, I show you one of my pictures and I say, tell me what I don't like about this, and you're not going to be able to tell me.
Yeah. No, that's
It's same with your
100%
helmets. Like, to me, those look pristine. Those could go right onto a movie set right now. And if
Right.
there's any
They
little
honestly could.
imperfection that you know of, I can't see it.
Yep. Yeah. It just, and then especially like when it moves into like a customer base, that's like a whole nother tier of stress of making sure. I think the first couple of helmets that I actually sold and like shipped it to them, I just sat there and waiting for like them to like tracking it and making sure that they were happy. And, and customers are customers. So some people are engaged and some people are like, hey, I got my stuff, leave me alone.
Hey, me
And
again,
I'm like,
John.
are you happy? Like, um, uh, yep. Still happy. I know it's been about 48 hours, but, all good stuff. And in fact, if you look on the Instagram, I
One
had
of my
finished
favorite
the
ones that you've
full
done.
Galactic Marine, for a customer, and yeah, she unveiled it at the Pensacon, which, I was in here painting. I completely
I'm only like
spaced on
30
it,
minutes away,
and I
and I
didn't
didn't go
go.
this year just because I
But
had too
she
much stuff happening over the weekend. But that now that I know that, I'm like, oh, I wish I found a way.
Yep.
Let's.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like
Well,
I looked
that's
at it,
awesome.
and I followed it, and then I just didn't go. But yeah, she unveiled it there, and it was like, I mean,
Yeah.
it was beautiful, like, to see it out and about and stuff. And, a lot of people have hit me up about tips and tricks on, because a lot of people want to make their own stuff, and like, I want to make a Galactic Marine. How did you do that? It's a lot of customizing files. It wasn't plug and play on that one. So, but it came out real nice, and I ended up doing her the DC-15A, the full 55-inch rifle for her, which is funny because she's like 5'4", so it's like as tall as her, but man, it looks cool. She's like, I have to have it. That's what they roll with, and I'm like, I get it. But she actually is the one that inspired me, because as I was going through it, I've wanted to do a clone for myself. And I was, man, I don't want to just do a regular clone or a 501st. It's like, they're cool, but everyone does it. And then that's when I came across kind of focusing on Bakara, and I'm like, that's where we're at. So you see the Bakara helmet back there. That one is nearly finished. It's basically, I got to glue the antenna on, and then I got to do the internals, but that's a personal, and I've got almost half of the whole armor set printed out. So hopefully in the next few months I'll have that done, and that's gonna be probably pretty insane, because it's I'm gonna go full throttle with that one. So
Not too often. No.
How many times you
It's
see
one of those
I
ones where I would be
with
surprised
Bakara.
if the
I don't think there's
501st
very many
website
out
even
there,
has
so.
like guidelines on it, because it's just like there's so few. Okay, I'm surprised.
They do. They do. I'm a little bit, I love the 501st, and what they do, but the subjectivity and like some of the reference photos.
My buddy's
like,
part of them
that's
down
wrong.
here, and he's
Like,
called them out on that a couple of times actually.
the detail that I'm so mad because I had to paint the black band up in his in the top band. There's a small black band that goes across that. And in the reference photos I have from the actual movie, I get little contacts of guys that help me out. And you can clearly see that that's a small, like, maroon band, just like in his dots in his armor. And they call for a black band. So if I put a maroon band in there and go for approval, they're like, you need to change that. I'm not repainting the helmet for the band, so I'll do what they want. But I've already had people message me like, "Hey, I think that's wrong."
It's
It's
wrong,
not
but
wrong.
only sort of.
It's wrong,
How much
but it's
time
not
do you
wrong.
have?
But I get it. But yeah, I do like when I'm not doing it for specifically for 501st, and people are like wanting more like, hey, I just want it to look real, like the screen, and then it gives me those limiting factors of having a battle with the CRLs or something. But yeah, and that's actually the CRLs how I found out on the phase 1 how those black tubes are the tube connections in the back. I mean, the screen time shot on that phase 1 pilot
Probably.
and Attack of the Clones was probably 2 seconds, where he barely turns his head. But they said that the tubes on the back were gold, and I'm like, no way, no, they're not, you know. And then so I screenshot it, I'm staring at it, I'm like, there's gold, but like it's so grainy, it's like you can't define exactly how it is. So there's artist interpretation on the back, but it is gold. So, but it looks good.
I guess now would be a great time to talk about that giveaway you got going on. So why don't you kind of give us the breakdown on that?
So it about probably like 8 months ago, Bounty Helmets, he's over in I think England. He's been kind of a mentor for me a little bit, and he has always hit me up and being real like you guys, like the good community where everybody's just always trying to lift people up. And he started from when I was like you know, less than 100 followers and telling me my stuff was good, and I was like, this guy's got so many followers and it works so good. I can't believe he's taking the time. But he's been dabbling and making his own 3D files, which are just amazing. And then he just sent me this file, and he's like, hey man, I'd like you to just do your thing on it however you want, and no pressure or nothing. And I printed it, and I just kind of let it sit there for a while. I wasn't inspired by anything to do it, but finally cleared up some time, and I went after it. And yeah, so I have it. It was a free file, and the I ended up it's a 100% scale helmet. The volume in it is nice and large. There is a limiting factor on that helmet, as there's about 22-inch head is going to clear that neck ring, and you see, because it looks like it's the neck ring that's proper for the movie. But it does make it so it's harder to put on unless you did like a detachable faceplate. And he has version for that, and then he also has a no neck seal and all that. But the one he sent me was like that. So I actually at one point was able to get that on my head, which is 22.5 inch. But I don't know. I guess my head
had to get the Vaseline out.
My following got bigger. I don't know, but
get that motion lotion.
I can't. I think I could get it on, but I'm probably gonna have to go to
do
the
what
ER
you gotta
to
do,
get
but
it
don't
off.
cut it off.
So I'll you're right. But yeah, so I think when it came out to it, it was like I'm not really gonna sit there and try to sell it. I don't really my website's not really set up for selling anything yet. So I was just like, it's, you know what, this has grown so much, I've gotten the ability to make some really cool stuff. So I want to give a helmet away to someone that just by all means would never probably able to get this, or, some people might win it that, have all the means in the world. But my goal, my wish was that someone that would not able to be able to get a helmet like this, that they could win it, and they just like, well, like shipping was included, like it just blown away, and they can, and hopefully they have small enough head.
Should put a little disclaimer in there. Must have 22-inch or smaller head.
But
head must be small as fuck.
Yeah, it is in the post, but I don't know how.
Well, why
much
don't
people,
you actually give us?
Might read that.
Why don't you actually give us the rules
but that's
on
why
that, so folks who are listening or
stand.
watching this right now actually know what to do.
All right, so you got to go to the post, which is up. It's tagged on my Instagram at MandoRexProps. You go to the post. All you have to do is follow MandoRexProps. Now the goal is to get to 2,000 followers, but I'm not hard set on that. So I've already gotten a pretty good increase. So we'll stand by for that. But the goal is try to get 2,000. I just is a random number. I said that sounds good. But I'm gonna give this helmet away. So 2,000 or not. And follow me. Follow Darth Rage Reviews. It's another local prop maker. He's got a YouTube channel, and he lives like 5 minutes from me. And once he found that out, we linked up, and then he came and did like a little YouTube interview with me a couple weeks ago. And I was like, "Hey man, thanks for doing that. I'm linking you into this thing, help you out." His Instagram following is a little bit lower than his YouTube following. Is pretty big, but not so. Follow Darth Rage Reviews, and then obviously you got to give credit to the artist at Bounty Helmets. So if you give him a follow, you do that, you like and share the post, and then make sure you comment. You have to comment, "Good soldiers follow orders." If you do that, then you're in. You're on the list, and when we hit 2,000, or if I decide to do it sooner than that, I'm gonna make a post saying I'm going live in 24 hours, and you don't have to be on live, but I'm going to do a random wheel generator and see who wins that helmet. If you're inside the continental United States, meaning not Hawaii or Alaska, I'm going to send it to you for free. Anything outside of that, you got 48 hours to reach out to me and make arrangements to pay for shipping. And then, I'm going to do some two backups just in case
you just gained a new follower.
But no cost to you. You're going to get
it's
that
been
helmet.
Shared, my friend.
Good stuff, man.
Sweet. Yep.
All right. Well, honestly, man, thank you for showing us
Awesome.
a little bit about that. It looks amazing, honestly. And then also just so folks can actually see your regular website as well, we'll go ahead and just show that off right here so folks can find you at www.MandoRexProps.com.
That's freaking
by the way,
awesome.
I love your logo.
Emblem. Holy smokes. So Jurassic Park is my all-time favorite movie, even though Star Wars is my all-time favorite. That's awesome. Wow. Do you have a...
Yeah. That, everyone thought it was Mando Rex, like Mando, and like maybe like Rex the clone. But
Hell
really,
yeah.
it's dinosaurs with my son and my wife.
That's my jam.
Jurassic Park goes pretty hardcore in this family.
Isn't a Jurassic Park
so
podcast, but are you excited for the new movie coming out this summer?
Let's put those things together.
There's a new one.
Yes.
Oh. Pumped.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime like that. We got probably
man, I have a
Jurassic
1.5-year-old
background in this house like every other day.
That's fantastic.
So, I think it's my wife's soothing movies. So yeah.
Yes. All right, back to Star Wars. Sorry, I derailed.
Every dinosaur everywhere. So.
Well, since we're diving back into Star Wars, so this week we had kind of an interesting topic. Ant and I were talking. What's kind of something good to talk about, and honestly, we were something we came up with because I just realized it too is here in just like. Basically like 2-3 months time, actually more like 2 months time, we are coming up on the Revenge of the Sith anniversary, which 20 years, right?
Yeah,
it's
yes,
20
sir.
years, right?
It is.
And that's nuts to me. Like
2005.
I still remember being in high school going to see this, and like so. I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but Aunt's heard me talk about it before. Like I got introduced into this when I was like 6 or 7 years old. My uncle took me to see Return of the Jedi in theaters, and ever since then I've been hooked on it. Like there've been times I've fallen off for like a couple of years and stuff like that, but like going to see Revenge of the Sith and like especially the transformation with Vader at the end there, like it was like a culmination of my childhood, to tell you the freaking truth. So and I know going to see Phantom Menace last year in theaters for its anniversary one, like I am so stoked for this and to be able to see all of these on the big screen again, honestly. So how do you guys feel about that?
Oh God, I'm ecstatic. I mean, they show so well still. These movies, like
Yeah.
they were made so well. Even when I saw Return of the Jedi a few years back, when that was in for its anniversary, I was like, this movie looks so good still. But Revenge of the Sith for me too. Yeah, that was the first one I probably saw, like, I guess by myself. I had gone to Phantom and Attack of the Clones with my parents, and I kind of got into this symbol. My mom, actually, I just learned this. I didn't even know this until recently. My brother enlightened me. Is my mom was actually quite the Star Wars fan, and she read. We got the VHSs, and we had probably him and I got so into it. We probably watched. We were probably in the triple digits for the views of those movies each individually before we even saw Phantom Menace. But my mom had gotten us into it because she was excited to see Phantom Menace, but she wanted to get us excited about it. So I thought that was cool. But anywho, I'm pumped. I'll go. I mean, last year I have a 1.5-year-old. So when Phantom Menace was out, he was still pretty fresh, and my wife she would have loved to have gone, but it was either I go by myself or I don't go. So I went by myself, and you've heard this before, Eric. There was like one other person in that theater. I shit you not, man.
Yeah.
And it was the best. It was probably the best movie experience I've ever had. It was just me watching the Phantom Menace on the big ass screen.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. So, and I think we may have lost him.
Yeah. That's why I
Give
trailed
us a
off
second
there,
here, guys.
Chad? Here he is.
All
I
right.
got back.
John's back.
Anyway, so yeah. So John, tell us how excited you are.
Oh, I mean, just, the fact that we're going to do this today. I mean, when I'm working in the shop, I always I have the TV on in there and just playing. So I was like, I'm going to put it on, let it roll. And, like that movie is just like, it's so deep. You go back to looking at Obi-Wan, and just before he's going off to go after Grievous, and Anakin, talking to him and basically apologizing about how he has been, and then just foretelling like everything. It's such a deep movie, like for people that actually, have seen it, and like going through all the different movies, in the culmination. But that's such a pivotal moment, and I think they did really good on it. And so it's a movie that it's funny because people will be like, you're emotional over Star Wars. And I'm like, dude, it's deep. It is.
It is. And then throw that last arc of Clone Wars into it.
Oh yeah.
You're done. If you're done. I can't. I'll fill my house up with tears.
Honestly, that last arc in Clone Wars brought in a whole different level
My
to this,
God.
to be honest.
And I didn't watch Clone Wars until within the last 5 years.
Yeah, no, it's so I watched that last season of Clone Wars pretty late, honestly. Like, I don't think I had watched it until probably a little bit after Mandalorian, give or take.
Okay. So I probably finished around the same time you did, because I watched like the first half of it a while ago, and then I finished it probably right around that time.
Yeah, like I watched the earlier stuff, and then just kind of I kind of fell off for like a long time, like just like I wasn't really into the sequels and stuff like that, so I wasn't really watching that much. But yeah, once Mando came out, that like kind of got me a big deep dive back into it, and I was able and like I feel like that did it for a lot of people, and we were able to go and enjoy these films and stuff again, and being able to go see these once again in theaters, to be honest with you, I am so freaking stoked about it, to be honest with you. And then, folks, I do believe we lost John with MandoRex just a few minutes ago. We apologize. I think we're just having some technical difficulties on our end. We're working to resolve those right now. And he's back with us.
Am I back?
Hey, there's Mando.
Hey.
So... but yeah, I know something about the anniversary coming up too. Like, so last year I went with Phantom. So I went the year before that to Return of the Jedi with my brother was awesome. Me and him both grew up like mega Star Wars fans. And then I went with my daughter. It was the first time we took her to a movie. I took her to a movie theater. Actually,
That's so cool.
Yeah, her first movie was Phantom Menace, and we're like sitting there in the theaters. And I brought like so me and my friend we brought our kids, and I brought a bunch of like my actual lightsabers and stuff. So we're like sitting there in the theaters, like like having lightsaber fights in the movie theater before it starts and stuff. And it was just like, honestly, like super special moment, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really was, man.
And you know what else typically comes with an anniversary is toys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking forward, because I definitely think so. The Revenge of the Sith line got dropped a little bit more this year. We had Palpatine come out. We got Bakara, who's going to release in about a month and a half or something like that.
Yeah,
2 months like this, something like that. And I'm super stoked
have it
for
reserved.
that one. Yeah, and honestly, he's still up for pre-order on like Amazon and stuff like that, so you can still get him. So I think we're well past the stages of the not being able to get stuff anymore, or at least not as difficult, I should say. So
for now,
yeah, very stoked to get that one. To be honest with you, and we're definitely getting more.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see. Do you have any idea when like we might hear of some drops? I mean, we're getting.
Yeah, so I'm in the loop with a lot of that, but I have not seen. I haven't gotten any information from my contacts as far as like when those drops are going to be coming out and stuff like that. So I imagine it will probably be coming pretty close to May 4th time frame.
That makes
and then
sense.
As far as like release dates, I think even the stuff they announced for like last year's May 4th, like it was much later into the year. I believe they announced like all those Phantom Menace ones like around that time. They came out much later in the year, right?
I want to say yes.
That's what I think it was. I think the announcements came around May the 4th, and then the rest, and it was like much later in the year.
Maybe end of summer.
Them. Yeah, something like that. So, and those are also readily available to a lot of those ones on like Amazon and stuff. So, you know, it's not like fighting to get these things like we used to.
Right. No, I'm excited though. I'm excited to maybe add some more because we just don't have a ton. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's so much potential for figures with prequels, and they need to take advantage. Like I said before, Newt Gunray. Come on, give us a Newt Gunray. The most despicable. I hate Newt Gunray, but I want that figure so much. I love Newt Gunray.
I don't think there was many people who actually liked him. So, but as we're talking about toys, as we're talking about toys, though, you know, great conversation about the anniversary coming up. Now would be a good time to get into some of our own toys. But before we do that, we're going to have a quick little quick little placement for my Saber company, because with Revenge of the Sith anniversary coming up, this pair would be amazing for Star Wars collectors. And this is from SaberMax. And it is the Mustafar collection. So this is the Obi-Wan and the Anakin lightsabers, and they come in baselit, NeoPixel, and Profi. You can get the multiple blade lengths and everything. You can actually get it with special stands as well for the display. And these are like the lightsabers you think of when you think Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, these are like the ones to have if you're a Star Wars fan, honestly, in my opinion. And you can see it comes with all the good stuff in there, all the stuff we need to take everything apart. And I got my own SaberMax lightsaber, my dark saber that I got, and honestly, the quality is great. I love it so much, honestly. Can't recommend this place enough. And then on top of that, if you guys go there, decide you want to get one of these for yourself, you can use the code the Dadalorian, no space, and get 10% off of your order. Anyways,
look at that.
There you go.
That's awesome.
But we're going to move into the toys that we do have today. So, John, being our guest, we want to let you go first, brother. So, I mean, you got about 8,000 things behind you that you could show off. So we always do this as all right, show us a collectible. So what on earth are you going to actually bring right up to the camera for us?
Oh man.
So many choices.
every time I finish a helmet, I try to get my hands on a Black Series figure to match it.
Mhm.
So that's why, Bakara is like, as soon as I went, we're gonna find it, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's coming out and it's pre-ordering, so I pre-ordered that. So hopefully I'll get that to match the suit. One of the cool things I also do is when I do a helmet, like, since I can't keep them all anymore, my wife said, you have too many. I make miniatures of the helmet. So
what?
this
Very
is
cool.
this is the Galactic Marine, and I painted it and wrapped it in the same
Dude.
wrap and everything. Yeah, there you go. But
Yeah, can you imagine if this guy started making Black Series action figures?
Hell yeah. I got a couple ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't finished this one,
Great.
but for the Shadow Trooper that I just finished, I still got to chrome out his lenses
Oh,
and
hell
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so I actually printed out the Bakar helmet. Got to have to paint that, but and like the Black Series stuff is pretty cool because it's like they're pretty detailed. Not as much as people that are doing the repaints and stuff, but I enjoy
Yeah.
getting to put my hands on them and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's funny because I could make some stuff, but I just got the Cantino. I bought that, and I just thought that thing was so cool because it's actually like you can hit the buttons and it locks and it's just safe and it opens up. So actually in there, I'm gonna make a bunch of Beskar ingots and paint it up, look real. But this is
Oh, hell yes.
yeah, and that trigger works. But
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but Matt would be having a field day right now because he is a blaster guy for sure.
Yeah, he loves the blasters. Poor Matt just didn't have his laptop. He missed out.
This is a work in progress here. I gotta.
Oh, whoa. Is that...
I'm gonna need to hit you up for one of those at least, I think.
Yeah. I gotta, put all the metallic buttons and the bronze and everything in there, and then kind of weather it up and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool to just have one of these.
That looks so sick.
But
I love the sabers, but there's just something about the blasters that's super special, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly,
just it's always fun to put on a helmet and just kind of stand there, and then just realize you're by yourself in your shops. But
no, I like that. I like that.
All right, well, way to show us up because I know I don't have anything nearly that cool. But Ant, why don't you? Oh,
if that'll turn, I don't know. This is the Lego collection.
My God!
Oh hell yeah, dude!
So Ant and I are both big onto the Legos as well. So that is super sick, honestly.
I only currently have like Legos from the 90s and 2000s because I haven't bought any new Legos for a while. However, the aforementioned 1.5-year-old son is already getting into Duplo, so I have high hopes.
That's the
that's
that
how
was
I've been
the
with
gateway.
my kids.
My son, it started with like, oh, I'm just getting him some Legos, and then it was like, hey man, you can't play with that. I was turning right into the bad guy with Legos, and the super glue, and just like they're collectibles. You don't understand what I'm doing for you. One day,
you don't touch that.
Now they're on a shelf, and he's got his Legos that he can play with, and the ones that he's not allowed to touch.
Yep, that's how my brother is with his kids too.
Yep.
Oh no,
I've gotten to the point with mine where I just do the spray super glue on them and stuff to try to keep them together.
Yeah,
it seems to work. So,
and that's the thing about
stuff,
3D
though,
printing.
Man.
Yeah, you can 3D print stands for your ships and stuff, so they display.
Oh
nice.
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Well, nice. Good collection show off. And I know I'm curious to see what you got for us. It's probably not going to be nearly as cool.
Well, I guess, yeah, maybe not. But I've got a little bit of a layered show today. I'm going to show you guys something that I just think is really cool. My mother-in-law...
Don't strangle yourself with your mic first.
My mother-in-law is a crafty lady. Her name's Missy, if she's watching this, because Eric was watching her husband, who got me the TIE Fighter, and I was like kind of cracking, like, I don't think he watches this. Turns out he does. He does watch him. Thank you for watching, Eric. Anyways, Missy, she made me this. She didn't make the shirt, but you see my little patch here. That's fun stuff. Now, the other thing that Matt's going to be sad about, check this out. And you're going to have to let me know if you can't see it.
Okay. Oh, shit. Well, that, dude, talk about custom jobs.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. I wish I could do that for my flannels.
Yeah. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm wearing that tonight. So for my toys, it's a twofer, but you'll see why. So I'm going with these two ladies from Acolyte. Now,
Okay.
I'm going with them because I've been having a ton of fun photographing them lately. And they are, one thing that you might not have known is her hair is the long hair.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense for the figure. This is for her from the beginning. But so I'm showing these off because as our loyal followers know, I love the Acolyte. However, Ocean and May were the figures I was not at all excited about. And one thing
I think that's how most people felt.
Yeah, I'm just like, I want the Jedi, cool, but I mean, I enjoyed the characters through and through, but I just wasn't like anxious to get them. Now that I have them, they're so fun to photograph. The figures themselves are great. The articulation's awesome. They look fantastic, and they come with all multiple. Like, she comes with 4 of the throwing knives, which I thought I'd hate, but they're actually awesome. Her cloak falls in line well with the rest of the Acolyte line of just being a great cloak. And then she's got not only the blaster, she's got 2 of her little droid. There's a different version as well.
Oh, okay.
And then a backpack. So I was thinking I was going to be a little like meh about these 2, but they're great. And I'm also excited. I'm going to do something with May. I'll slap a robe on her and do something with her and Saul, like while she was still with the Jedi type thing.
Oh,
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm excited. So that's
nice.
That's my collector's corner today.
All right. Well, mine is kind of right in line with that because, and I was trying to decide today. I was at work today, what should I show off? And I actually got notification that I got something that I ordered, which was for 2 things. First off, this guy,
hell yeah.
Yord, and I'll admit this too, and we've talked about this. I am not the biggest fan of the Acolyte. I enjoyed a lot. There was a lot of things I really enjoyed about it. I'll say that much. I'm not a hater on it. It was just not one of my biggest ones where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do big collections out of these and everything like that. So I got this guy on Amazon for only $10, I think it was. Thanks to the Star Wars Toy Collectors for keeping an eye on those.
Always.
And
he's
the
best.
Yes. And he's going to go great with this next one for some photographs that I'm going to do. And it's one that I have been looking for this one forever, honestly. And I got it for a steal of a deal. And it is Second Sister,
yes.
the graphite one. And so this is one that was going for crazy prices a while back. I think it's calmed down quite a bit because it's anywhere from $10 to $30 now, honestly.
I think when I bought that one, it wasn't the carbonized or whatever, but I think I picked her up for $30, and I was stoked because that was at my local comic store. Everywhere else at the time, eBay, any third party seller, it was $70 minimum.
Oh yeah,
for a while.
I've been watching these for a while, and this one was just so high up there. But yeah, I got it for I think it was $12 or something like that, and
Dude.
It's to the point this one I'm gonna open it to do some photographs, but I opened it and I was like, man, I don't even know if I should because the box is in pristine condition, almost rating type of box. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Actually, you have that, or no? You're not gonna open the 3-pack, are you?
No, the 3-pack. I'm actually hanging that one up. I got enough of the little hangers to put it on my wall with the rest of the collection, but I really thought about that one there. So. But no, so the whole reason I'm showing these 2 off together is because I'm pretty sure I'm going to open it up and do some photographs just because I really like the way it would look. And doing like a little Jedi clash with these two, making your just basically be like some kind of like random Jedi and not actually
Yeah.
Yord because the timelines don't match up, would be pretty cool. So yeah,
I
those
dig
ones
it.
I'm pretty stoked about, honestly.
I love photographing like that, just like what ifs or, you know,
Yeah, and I'm like just starting to get into the ones with lightsabers. Honestly, like a lot of the times, I honestly love doing more like clone troopers and stuff like that. So this is going to be like the first time I do like a lightsaber battle type of photo. So
well,
curious to see how that goes.
you'll grow. And that's, you know, you look at pictures that I've done or
Yeah.
in other people. I mean, and you know what else? Something you said, John, made me think of this just now about, I think it was the guy who you said, um, is really good. And he had messaged you at one point and said, you know, hey, whatever. And that just made you feel really good. And I just really, I want to point out, you know, that that's one thing that I really enjoy about this community is it's just such a open and accepting, for the most part, community. And I love that you mentioned that, because I kind of had so that's literally how Matt and I became friends. Is Matt, who is our other host on here, Matt invited me just because he liked some of my photos, and he messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want to join this group I'm in?" And I was like, "Okay." And if you look back at my photos, like, well, the first photos didn't even have like effects at all, you know. And then we go into, you know, there's a little PNG that doesn't look like it should be there, but it's there, and the lightsaber looks okay. So, but I you know, it was 3 years almost now that I've been doing this, and I learn new techniques all the time. But yeah, I thought that was really cool that you shared that story. And, you know, I had a similar one with Matt, and then met Eric through Matt too. So, but I have
Yep.
so many people. I have a collab that I manage, and it's just like everybody is just so supportive, and it's awesome, you know, no matter what your
Yeah, I think
affiliation is. I
it
guess
threw
I'll
me off
say,
at
like,
first.
just how kind people were and whatnot, or that person
Yeah,
individual, I guess. Yeah,
I
it's
was
so
I was
cool. It
actually
makes you just
so
feel it's awesome.
yeah. I
All right, I think
was
we're
I
trying to
was kind
talk
of
over each other now.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I was when yeah. I'm sorry. I'm new. uh,
All right, man.
There's a learning curve to
when
it too. We still learn.
I was just blown away, just like, because in what industries do you see where people are like, oh, hey, here's a guy that could possibly, you know, in a small market, you know, for making Star Wars helmets, where this guy has a talent and I'm going to help him, you know? So yeah, I think the
No.
community is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what we're all about on this show, honestly, is just making this community better every day, trying to keep it positive, trying to keep it fun, man. So, and with that, we get to close out this week's episode, guys. So before we go, John, we want to say thank you again, man, for joining us. It was a real pleasure to have you on, and I have a bit of jealousy just because of the amazing stuff behind you there still. Um, but for everybody listening and watching, you can find John on Instagram at, what's your handle on there?
MandoRexProps.
Yep. And you can find him there. And if you check his pin post, that is the giveaway that we were talking about at the beginning, which is the clone pilot helmet from episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Please go give him a follow, check it out, and share that with all of your friends. Now, from us, Sith Happens, we appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us again for another week. We would like you guys to go check us out too at Sith Happens _Star Wars podcast on Instagram. On there, you will be able to find our link tree, which goes to all of our various links, such as YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, you name it, we're there. On there, you'll also find the link for SaberMax Lightsabers. You'll find my link for SaberMax Lightsabers, where you can go check out the lightsabers that we showed off today. Now, John, we're going to be signing off here, brother. Do you have any final words of wisdom or anything you'd like to say?
I would like to say a special thank you to Eric and Ant. I really appreciate the opportunity. You guys are awesome, and I love what you guys are doing. Thanks for having me. I'd love to chat with you guys again. MandoRexProps.com If you're interested in a commission, just go onto the website. Like I said, look at some Galactic Armory files at galacticarmory.net and shoot me out the questionnaire that's on there, and I'll reach out to you and we'll discuss with a free consultation on trying to make your prop come to life.
Excellent, man. And I definitely think you'll be getting some people calling you because the stuff looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
I get chills even thinking about it. I will definitely one day want to hit you up for something out there, but right now I try to have to keep to Black Series because I do have an addictive personality.
Yes,
I get it. I get it.
I feel like that's
with
most
that
of
being
us.
said, it's been really great having you on tonight, John, and thank you for sharing, just about yourself and your passion. And clearly it's an incredible one for you because it doesn't take much to see the passion you put into it. I do want to also compliment your shirt real quickly because that's awesome. So I will say that, and then we will look forward to seeing y'all next week again with our boy Matty Ice.
Yes, Matt will be coming on next week. This week was just a little bit off for him. He had some stuff going on. But once again, guys, I am Eric the Dadalorian. We want to say thank you one last time for joining us. We want to say once again a special thank you to John from MandoRexProps for coming and hanging out with us. We are definitely happy to have you back on, man. So we will definitely be in touch. But for everybody out there, may the force be